We back with DC strats for Mod A. Finally, after all these years, it is complete. With this, I will have made a guide for all the DC bosses. I really don't think any of you know how happy this makes me. So, without further ado, this season Delta 7 Pathfinders are upped and minus 90% evasion to all units. I will be going over the mechanics of the fight, some tips and tricks, and since this season has a lot of variety, we have both a Hana and a Vivian comp. All this will be timestamps, which you can find in the video description. So let's go ahead and check it out. So this boss is a defender type that sits at the back and just completely annoys you with its mines. This boss has a proximity check that if you do not have your units within a certain range, it will sit there and launch a laser beam, killing your entire team. Boss's basics just hit in front of him. Most ranged units can outrange it. Boss's special, indicated by the blue bar, will sit there and deploy mines. Now, this has a unique mechanic that it will deploy mines at your ship if there are 3 or less units on the field. If you have more than 3 units on the field, the boss will sit there and deploy the mines in front of itself, which is usually where your team's at, and any units that's standing in the gas released afterwards will take a minus hit debuff that stacks. At 218, or if you do a third of the boss's HP, the boss will initiate a damage check, which you need to clear. If you do not, then he'll activate his laser, killing your team. After clearing the damage check, the boss will sit there and move forward, and in which this time you are free to DPS him, but this will sit there and activate phase 2. Now granted, you do get a damage bonus from hitting the boss from behind. Once you get to the last HP bar, he will go into phase 3, in which he starts it off by shooting a laser that knocks all your units forward that are on the map currently. Then he'll proceed to your ship and start attacking it. Now, during this, he will activate damage checks, in which if you hit him, it will stun him. But other than that, he will sit there and quickly attack your ship and kill it if you're not quick to kill him. Alright, so we're getting into some stats for nerds here. This boss is going to have 2 million HP, 2,999 defense. I don't understand why they just didn't give it the 1, make it 3,000 even, but you know, okay. 1,500 hit and 1,000 evasion. So this means that your tanks are normally going to need 801 or more evasion to dodge the boss. Your DPS will need 1,875 or more hit in order to surefire the boss, or if you shred by 50%, 938 hit. If you time something to trigger the proximity check at 226, just for a moment, then the boss will sit there and get locked into its proximity check again, all the way up until the point in which it sits there, goes into its damage check, which prevents the last set of mines. Cool thing about Enterprise's S1 is that it applies the evasion shred at the start of the skill and then on the last hit. So if you sit there and use this much earlier than the burst phase, you can actually get a larger window of surefire during the entire fight, as the last hit will hit during the burst phase. Okay, so the important thing here is to pay attention to the deploy times and positions in which I'm putting my units. I'm delaying Rebecca's deploy right off the bat because she has too much skill haste, and so she'll sit there and special at the wrong time, so I need to have her special right when the boss phase transitions. Now I deploy AG back here so that she gets hit by the mine, just to delay her special to line up my special and ulti. After that, we get Rivet out. She's going to be important later. But we have Linjian ulti, and as soon as she dies, that's fine because we're going to play Tarask here. And Tarask actually is stupid and gets in melee range, but that's perfect because that reactivates the hit or the proximity check, which delays the mines from ever spawning, which means my units don't get blind. I don't have to deal with that. And then we sit there and we pop basically everything and just explode the boss as quickly as we can. And of course, you know, Rebecca doing Rebecca things, doing massive damage. Alright, to gear this team. Of course, we're running full CDR on Lin Jian. We want her to use her ulti as soon as possible. On Storm, we're running attack anti-defender. We want that little bit of skill haste on the case so that we can get our ulti in time. Sinjia, we're running on full CDR, 77% here. Rebecca, you want to run attack anti-defender or just anti-defender. A-speed anti-defender can work, but it doesn't do as much damage. Tarask, you can run on A-speed anti-defender, but attack anti-defender is probably better. Rivet is on attack, or you can run her on attack anti-defender or double anti-defender. And then Dorothy, she doesn't really do anything, so you throw her on whatever, but just to min-max, we'd go ahead and put her on anti-defender. I'm using Hana as the operator, and for my ship is Enterprise. We have counter with range damage here, and then Rangers get a little bit of a boost. Alright, so we're going with some Chifu strats here. We're going to sit here and deploy Chifu and Linji in the back. Rebecca a little forward to get the timing right on her special. Now, Lin Jian's gonna die. I'm just gonna be real with you guys. Lin Jian's not gonna survive very long, and it's kind of hard for her to survive, and especially with the minus evasion. But if we blind the boss, we actually can sit there and dodge the moves, which is nice. So we definitely want to use that S1. Now I delay Rivet special because her passive is what we want to have happen during the burst phase. So depending on your gear, if you're using A-speed, that changes the timing, so you'll have to find the timing out for that. But if you copy my timing here, then she'll sit there and use the passive right during the burst. So we're going to sit here and Sky ulti at 220 to dodge, to iframe the mine, go into Chifu ulti, into Vivian, into Detroit S1, into exploding the boss. Now, we all know Rebecca's going to be a top, but I'm actually impressed Warden's actually did 200k damage. Alright, so for this, this is going to be hard to explain. I put on some weird gear, getting 36% haste so that I can get consistent timing on when Chifu can ulti in special. Lin Jian's on your basic tanky CDR. Rebecca's on the attack anti-defender, attack or full anti-defender works, as well as A speed with anti-defender subs. Sky for this strat needs to be on full CDR. She gets deployed late, so you need to be able to make sure you get your ulti in time. Dorothy, I just have on Swift gear. She doesn't really get to do anything, so her gear doesn't really matter that much. Wardens I have on attack speed anti-defender. Attack anti-defender is probably better, but I have that gear for somebody else right now, which is Rivet here. She's on my attack anti-defender. Zoyun I have on attack speed with range damage. Attack anti-defender or A speed with anti-defender subs will work as well. Then Vivian is the operator. as well as new Detroit here, buffing ranger damage and counter crit damage. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope this helps you improve your scores this season. For those of you that this is a holiday weekend, happy holidays. Go eat some barbecue. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're feeling extra special, you can join the Mage Institute by clicking the join button. You can catch me on Discord. Link will be in the description. And if you want to help support this channel, you can find a link in the description for that as well. As always, I will see you all next time.